So I think they're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping that it sticks because they know that their client is guilty and they're just trying to do the best that they can with a guilty client.
As you all know, I made a request today for what we were calling a gag order, and I'm not going to walk out of court and do anything other than live up.
The world of celebrity scandals has been shaken once again, this time by one of the most legendary figures in the music industry. Sean Diddy Combs, the once untouchable mogul behind decades of hits and multi-million-dollar ventures, now finds himself at the center of a courtroom battle that could permanently alter his public image. But it wasn't just the legal drama that left people speechless. It was his shocking courtroom appearance that sent shockwaves through fans, journalists, and even the court itself. What happened to the charismatic powerhouse once known for his extravagant lifestyle and larger-than-life persona? Is this the end of an era, or will Diddy reclaim his throne in the industry? Let's dive into the twists and turns of this unfolding saga.
This is the end of the Diddy story as we know it.
When Sean Diddy Combs stepped into the courtroom for his latest appearance, he was almost unrecognizable. Gone was the polished, larger-than-life mogul who had ruled red carpets and magazine covers for decades. Instead, the man who slowly entered. The room looked drained, aged, and weighed down by time and trouble. His overgrown gray hair and scruffy beard made him look far older than his years, while reporters described him as bloated and worn down, a stark contrast to the sharp-dressed entrepreneur the public once idolized. Clad in a tan jumpsuit, his demeanor shifted between solemn reflection and brief flickers of his old self, offering faint smiles to the few supportive family members in the gallery. The transformation was impossible to ignore. Had the weight of his legal troubles finally broken him, or was there a deeper reason behind his frail appearance? The courtroom buzzed with murmurs as journalists scrambled to document the shocking downfall of a once unstoppable force. "Oh my God, he looks terrible," one observer whispered. Some speculated whether his sudden physical decline was a calculated move, a bid for sympathy from the court. Others believed it was the raw, undeniable cost of a crumbling empire. A man finally facing the consequences of years of controversy. Whatever the reason, one thing was clear. The invincible image of Diddy had shattered. The aura that once shielded him from scrutiny had vanished, leaving only a fallen titan for the world to witness.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, sexual assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
As if the day couldn't get more intense, prosecutors unveiled fresh claims that sent shockwaves through the courtroom. Armed with what they described as critical new evidence, they presented a string of damning allegations that painted an even darker picture of Diddy's past. These accusations, spanning years of alleged misconduct, suggested that Diddy had exploited his influence over his network of employees in ways that crossed both moral and legal boundaries. But the most jaw-dropping revelation claims that he used intimidation tactics to maintain control, an assertion so chilling that it left the entire courtroom in stunned silence. With the stakes already sky-high, these new allegations intensified what was already shaping up to be one of the most monumental legal battles in the industry's history.
We are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do.
It wasn't just the courtroom bombshells that had people talking. Rumors about Diddy's declining health began spreading rapidly. Insiders hinted that the music mogul's condition might be far more serious than initially believed. Sources close to the situation suggested that years of high-stakes business dealings, combined with the relentless pressure of his legal troubles, may have left an irreversible mark on both his physical and mental well-being. He's not the same man he used to be, one insider reportedly claimed, adding even more speculation to the growing whispers. Talk of exhaustion, severe stress, and even underlying health conditions has circulated among those following the case closely. However, with no official confirmation, the true extent of his health struggles remains a mystery.
You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
Observers couldn't ignore how these rumors fit into a larger narrative, one that suggests Diddy may be on the verge of surrendering. Once known for his unyielding defiance in the face of allegations, speculation is now swirling that his stance has shifted. Some insiders claim he may be cooperating with federal authorities, a move that would mark a stunning turning point in the case. If true, this could indicate either an admission of wrongdoing or a calculated attempt to lessen the fallout he's facing. Sources close to the investigation suggest that Diddy's legal team might be weighing this option to protect his remaining assets and influence. However, at this stage, no official confirmation has been made, leaving the public to question what's really happening behind the scenes.
U.S. judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male workers across state lines to take part in recorded sexual performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence. David Willis reports.
The courtroom spectacle was made even more intense by the presence of Diddy's family, who have remained by his side despite the growing allegations. His latest appearance saw his son Christian, his daughter Chance, and his mother Denise seated. In the gallery, a rare glimpse into how this legal battle has affected those closest to him. At one point, Diddy turned and blew a two-handed kiss toward his family, a subtle but powerful gesture that highlighted the deeply personal side of this highly publicized case. Yet even their unwavering support couldn't overshadow the gravity of the accusations looming over him.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the shoe have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there, he was like an overnight.
The story took an even more dramatic turn as rumors swirled about Diddy's potential cooperation with authorities. Could this signal a major shift in the case? Speculation exploded as legal experts debated the implications. Was he striking? A deal to protect himself? Or was this a calculated move to divert attention from the most damaging allegations? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is undeniable. For the first time in decades, Diddy finds himself on the defensive in a way that even his immense wealth and influence may not be able to shield him from.
And I understand that he has a shrink coming by his cell to see him several times a day. And now there's talk about putting him in, it's like a bubble. It's like a cell that has like a plexiglass wall in it where they have inmates watching you. That's actually their job, to keep an eye on the inmates that are on sidewalk.
As the courtroom session wrapped up, questions about Diddy's future loomed larger than ever. Once revered as a music mogul and cultural icon, his once untouchable reputation now stands in ruins, overshadowed by allegations of misconduct and a legal battle that threatens to define his legacy. The sight of a visibly aged and subdued Diddy leaving the courthouse seemed to cement his dramatic fall from grace, a downfall that has gripped public attention for months. But the day's bombshells didn't end there. Behind the scenes, whispers of internal conflicts within Diddy's legal team began to surface, suggesting possible disagreements over the direction of his defense. Then came another game-changing revelation, the emergence of Cassie's certificate, a critical piece of evidence that could potentially tip the case in favor of the prosecution. This latest development, coupled with rumors of Diddy's declining health and speculation about his alleged cooperation with authorities, has added yet another layer of uncertainty to an already twisting and unpredictable saga. Mon mot.
So the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, this one has so many people talking, the disgraced music mogul, facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how
Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades, like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
Just as the courtroom emptied and the buzz began to settle, a new wave of speculation took over. Could this be the beginning of the end for one of the most recognizable figures in entertainment? And if so, what does that mean for the legacy he spent decades building? These unanswered questions keep the story wide open, guaranteeing that this legal battle is far from over. But just when it seemed the drama couldn't escalate any further, the spotlight shifted to Diddy's legal team, or group that should be his strongest line of defense, but is now surrounded by whispers of betrayal, internal conflict, and questionable motives. Imagine this. The very people who are supposed to fight for his freedom are now the subject of their own speculation. Are they truly in his corner, or is there another game at play? The courtroom wasn't just a battleground between prosecutors and the defense. It became a stage where even Diddy's own team seemed to be struggling to hold their strategy together.
I think it's to be expected, just the shock of this and the questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come?
For weeks, rumors have been swirling about cracks forming within Diddy's legal team, led by high-profile attorney Mark Agin. Despite their united front, insiders suggest otherwise. Some claim that certain members of his defense may not be fully invested in clearing his name. Instead, their true loyalties might lie elsewhere, with powerful figures operating in the shadows, ensuring their own interests remain protected. Speculation is growing that these behind-the-scenes influencers aren't just concerned about Diddy's fate. They're worried about what he might expose if pushed into a corner. Let's be real, Diddy's empire wasn't built on clean, transparent deals. If the pressure to cooperate intensifies, who knows what names could come spilling out?
Now, this particular defense attorney's reason for quitting wasn't really a reason at all, making his departure a lot more puzzling.
Meanwhile, Diddy's defense team finds itself under intense scrutiny, with their strategy, or lack thereof, becoming a major talking point. They've been filing a flurry of motions, from challenging the integrity of evidence to demanding witness identities. But instead of reinforcing their case, these moves have been widely criticized as desperate attempts to stall the inevitable. Prosecutors have outright accused the defense of using delaying tactics to avoid confronting the mountain of evidence stacked against Diddy. And then there's the leaked internal memo, a document that reportedly exposed deep divisions within his legal team. The biggest disagreement? How to handle the now infamous surveillance footage of Diddy and Cassie in that hotel hallway. While some lawyers wanted to challenge its authenticity, others believed their best shot was discrediting Cassie's testimony instead. The cracks in their unity were growing, and the courtroom sharks could smell blood in the water. As if that weren't enough, reports suggest Diddy's legal team is now battling an even bigger nightmare: the massive trove of digital evidence seized during federal raids earlier this year. Prosecutors have reportedly retrieved terabytes of data from phones, laptops, and hard drives, with sources hinting that some of it could directly implicate others in Diddy's circle. Rumors are swirling that these files contain private communications, transaction records, and logs of key events that eerily align with some of the allegations against him. While the defense insists that these claims are overblown, the sheer volume of data has raised a chilling question. What secrets could be buried within? And how damaging will they be if brought to light in court?
Potentially, it could be a conflict with the client, right? A disagreement. They just don't get along. The communication is poor. They don't agree on defense strategy. It could be conflict with one of the other lawyers. Obviously, it seems like Agnifilo is the lead on this case, although Rico was certainly his one.
At the same time, rumors of internal discord within Diddy's legal team have only intensified. Insiders claim that sharp disagreements have emerged over how to handle the influx of digital evidence now looming over the case. One faction reportedly wants to focus on discrediting the chain of custody, arguing that the evidence may have been tampered with or taken out of context. Meanwhile, others are said to be pushing for a more aggressive approach, aiming to preemptively challenge the relevance of these materials before they're even introduced in court. This internal power struggle has only added to speculation that Diddy's defense team is unraveling, making it increasingly difficult to present a unified strategy. And with so much at stake, these cracks could further weaken their position in an already uphill legal battle.
And I know obviously there's other lawyers on the case. Obviously a lot of the victims are female. They're going to want female lawyers on the defense team, especially during some of the aggressive cross-examination. That tends to be the conventional wisdom when you're dealing with victims who are alleged victims of sexual assault or abuse. And then it could be a conflict with one of the victims themselves. Maybe Agnifilo, maybe Rico consulted with them or even represented them.
But here's where things take an even darker turn. Whispers are growing that Diddy's own legal team may not be working in his best interests. Some speculate that their goal isn't necessarily to free him, but rather to keep him in a controlled position long enough to ensure he doesn't expose damaging secrets that could implicate others. And then there's the ongoing rumor of his cooperation with federal authorities. If Diddy is cutting a deal in exchange for leniency, who's actually benefiting? Is his legal team truly fighting for his release? Or are they more focused on controlling the narrative to protect more powerful figures behind the scenes? In a case of this magnitude, nothing seems off the table. Then came the bombshell revelation, a certificate provided by Cassie that has the potential to change everything. While details of this document remain tightly under wraps, insiders suggest it directly supports claims from her previous lawsuit, a lawsuit that was settled almost immediately but left a permanent stain on Diddy's reputation. Legal analysts are already calling the certificate a game changer, arguing that it offers tangible proof to support allegations that were previously dismissed as mere hearsay. If this document is what people think it is, it could be devastating. One expert commented, "Prosecutors have wasted no time signaling their intention to introduce the certificate as key evidence, despite fierce pushback from Diddy's defense team." Attorney Mark Agnifilo has vehemently argued that the document is irrelevant and prejudicial, but so far, his efforts to block it from the case have failed. With the stakes at an all-time high, one thing is clear: the walls are closing in. Barb
is seen shoving, kicking, and dragging his then girlfriend down the hallway. And now he's posted an apology.
The revelation of the certificate has reignited conversations about Cassie's role in Diddy's downfall. Once seen as a devoted partner who stood by him for years, she has now emerged as one of his most vocal accusers in this ongoing legal saga. Her decision to file a bombshell lawsuit in 2023 was a turning point. Though the case was settled within 24 hours, it opened the floodgates for others to come forward with their own allegations. Now, with this newly surfaced document adding weight to her claims, Cassie's credibility has reached an all-time high. Some legal experts and insiders are even calling her the key to unraveling the web of accusations surrounding Diddy. If this certificate proves to be as damning as many suspect, it could cement her role as the central figure in the case that threatens to bring down one of music's most powerful moguls.
Yeah, Jessica, it is very difficult to watch. We are actually going to go through it and show our viewers what he is apologizing for. But
Cassie's involvement in the case hasn't come without controversy. Critics argue she's motivated by revenge, while supporters believe she's finally finding her voice after years of silence. Public opinion remains deeply divided. Some question her motives, while others applaud her bravery. What's undeniable, however, is the ripple effect her actions have created. Her willingness to speak out has inspired others to come forward, forcing Diddy to confront allegations that had long been dismissed or ignored. As the drama continues to unfold, the biggest question remains: what happens next? Will Diddy's legal team pull off a last-minute miracle, or are they simply delaying the inevitable? And beyond his own fate, there are larger implications. If he truly is cooperating with federal authorities, who else might be drawn into the fire? The entertainment industry is no stranger to scandals, but this case feels different. Bigger, messier, and with stakes that reach far beyond one man's freedom. Then there's the elephant in the room: Diddy's legacy. Once celebrated as a trailblazing icon, his name is now tangled in controversy. Even if he somehow beats the charges, can he ever reclaim the stature he once had? Or is this trial the final chapter in a career that has been as tumultuous as it has been groundbreaking? As the trial date looms, anticipation is at a fever pitch, and the world is watching.
at one point, he appears to throw what looks like vases at her. Now, this apology video that he posted today is the first time that he has acknowledged this event. In fact,
by the end of the day, one thing was certain: this story is far from over. The courtroom battles, the behind-the-scenes power struggles, the shocking revelations, it all feels like the build-up to a dramatic climax that no one can predict. As new details continue to surface, the world will be watching, waiting to see how it all unfolds. Will Diddy find a way to rise from the ashes, or is this the moment that sends his empire crumbling? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for more updates on this unfolding saga. So,